because of the rain conditions. We're going to be going live in just a little bit later today for the Maryvale street shooter. Um, there's a ton of rain, so we are going to be going live. We're going to be going live a little bit later because of the rain conditions. So again, it's the Maryvale street shooter, and that's what we're going to be discussing um, today. So I just wanted everybody to know that we're definitely going to be going live. It's just going to be a little bit later because of the weather. It's pretty crappy out right now. So come on in, people. So come on in, the Maryville street shooter case. Press one if you can hear me, but it's going to be a little bit of a delay because it's pouring out in Phoenix right now. So there's going to be a little bit of delay getting there. Just wanted to give everybody the heads up and let them know that we have. We'll probably do the live stream actually tonight because it is pouring this bad. But I wanted to jump on really quick and let everybody know. Not sure. I know it's a work week and I know people are in class and at their jobs and stuff. But we are going to be going live this evening. So I wanted to hop on here and let everybody know that. We're going to be going live. And I'm going to run through the case really quick with everybody so you know exactly what we're going to be discussing on this case. Um, at the Maryville street shooter. Um, Actually, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. It's insane. Sorry, guys. Thanks for hopping on. We're going to be going live. Sorry, I'm just loading up. So the Maryville street shooter case, we're going to be postponing for just a little bit. Make sure you subscribe to the channel just so you don't miss. We're just waiting out this pouring rain right now. So we're going to be jumping on at 11. Just make sure you subscribe so you get the notifications. It's free. Just please subscribe to the channel. I can read over the case. Is everybody familiar with the Maryville street shooter case? Press one if you'd like me just to read a little bit of content on it. It happened in 2016. Sorry, I'm in my car because we were ready to rock and roll and get going on this. Make sure you subscribe though, because we're going to be going to Aaron Sauceda's parents' house, the actual location, and we're going to be visiting some crime scenes coming up. Again, there's just a little bit of a rain delay, so we're waiting. I'm going to read you guys some of the info about the killer here. Just give me a second. Make sure you subscribe. Hello, Machi Adriana. Hey, make sure you subscribe just to let you know because we're going to be going live. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Maryville street shooter case. He terrorized the Phoenix area back in 2016. So he literally would drive around Maryvale, which is a western Phoenix suburb, and would shoot innocent people, literally pull up in a 7 Series BMW. The kid at the time, I believe he was 22 years old, and he would shoot people, innocent people. He attacked a lot of poor people too, just going about their business. Let me see if we're having crazy internet trouble too, the whole city of Phoenix right now, or at least where I'm staying. Um, Give me 1 second. Um, but thanks again. Yep, make sure you subscribe. So yeah, so we're gonna go to the house. We're gonna go to a few different crime scenes. There's gonna be. I was connecting with Hector, one of the victims. Family member is going to be talking about the case specifically. It still hasn't. Aaron Cicito is still in jail. So in 2017, the appeal process took so long, and then COVID hit. He still has not been tried. He's been sitting in jail since they apprehended him. So it's almost been 10 years he's been sitting in jail. He's 31 years old now, which is just absolutely crazy. Um, let me. Sorry about this. I wanted to hear about it since, again, please make sure you subscribe because we're oops. um that was crazy. Hi, how's it going, everyone? Let's see, the screen's still locked. 1 second. Again, I'm going to read you a little bit about where we're going on a few hours, so again, you'll want to subscribe. We're going to go through this. So Aaron Cicito, on the evening of August 2016, 2015. That is when he started to terrorize the area. Um, Hold on, this gets a little bit too descriptive. So he pulled up to a resident, a real quiet area in central Phoenix, and he killed a man around 9:24 p.m. This older gentleman crumbled to the gravel parking lot. This is where we're going, 920 East Montebello Avenue. A neighbor peeked outside the window and saw a dark SUV heading west. So Aaron drove a BMW 755i. He also was a construction worker, and he drove a bus for the city of Phoenix, public transportation. I was actually in Phoenix at the time visiting family, and I was like freaked out because he was just driving around shooting people. It was the craziest thing. Make sure you subscribe though, because in a few hours we're going to be at the crime scene. Um, so this was one of his first victims. Guy was in his 60s that Aaron shot dead. When the Phoenix police arrived, they found Raul Romero with his blood and several bullet wounds. Um, at the time, detectives started picking up shell cases and found two bullets. They came from a 9mm handgun. Only a high point pistol could have fired those rounds. They learned later it would prove to be critical. At the time of Romero's death, um, it was just an all too like forgettable crime. Like nobody cared. It didn't get much media. Hello. How's it going? I'm Jay Wan. Nice. Make sure you subscribe. Um, okay, so 10 days later, news crews recorded another familiar scene. Romero's daughter, Laura, fighting tears as family members do at such events, asked the public's help finding the killer. She described her dad, which was amazing, loving, caring, hardworking man. Silent Witness, which is a reward program, offered $1,000. Um, and then yet months after um, the death of Romero, it then became one of the deadliest serial killers in Arizona history. The other had already been stopped a decade earlier, which we were there. So if you check out my channel, Mark Godot, the baseline killer, was 10 years earlier, and he killed nine people and sexually assaulted 11 and was breaking into homes. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss where we're going. But so just to recap, it was the baseline killer, and then there was the I-10 killer, was also terrorizing the Phoenix area in 2005, 2006. So this actually was in 2010. So now a decade later, another serial killer was just getting started. Nobody knew it was on that dark August night in 2015. maybe not even his killer. Raul Romero's death was the first in a fresh string of killings. The day after Laura Romero begged for answers, somebody shot at a car on Interstate 10. On August 29th, 2015, can everybody hear me okay? If you could just press 1. Again, make sure you subscribe because we're going to the Maryvale street shooter's house. Um, so on August 29, 2015, the Arizona Department of Public Safety confirmed 2 shootings on I-10 that day between 19th and 59th Avenue around 11:30 a.m. By September 1st, the Department of Safety was now telling the public that 4 cars had been shot at, 3 of them struck by bullets. So there would have been many more people murdered, but he apparently wasn't a good shot. And I don't mean that trying to be funny, but he did try to shoot 3 others before the second person was killed. So he's driving around in his 755 I series Beamer shooting people. We're going to the house, so please subscribe in 2 hours. So we had a little bit of a rain delay. Um, Nobody noticed or cared that much in the area. It was a skinny, pale Hispanic man in his early 20s who lived on North 10th Street, walked into a Central Phoenix pawn shop that day on East Indian School Road and sold his pistol. It was that same pistol where they were able to get um, the ballistics from. All right, so sorry if this sounds like this is kind of a strange article. It keeps jumping back and forth. Um, okay, so basically this article is saying people were changing their routine, changing their routes. So did school buses. Children in the area were fearing for their lives. On September 14th, police bumped the reward for 20 grand all the way to $50,000 for more information leading to the arrest of the freeway shooter. On September 8th, the Department of Safety arrested Leslie Allen Merritt at the Glendale Walmart. Okay, so this is the I-10 shooter. Um, all right, so reports of the freeway shooting stopped just as abruptly as they started. So when the new year rang in, the media focused on the seasonal favorite, the first baby of 2016. Amy Guadalupe Mercado was born at 12:01 a.m. in Banner University Medical Center. Phoenix's first murder of the year received little coverage. It happened 43 minutes later in Maryvale, one of the city's 15 villages in Phoenix. Jesse Olivas was walking home at 2225 North 58th Drive. After popping out to the store, he was nearly home, real close to his house. Someone pointed a gun out the window of a passing car and shot him several times. He was 22 years old. This was the second murder victim of the Maryvale street shooter. Please like and subscribe because we're going to be at his house in the next 2 hours. We just had a little bit of a rain delay. Then the shooter drove off into the stilly, chilly, clear, moonless night in what police told broadcasters. Just trying to see if you guys can see this. What told broadcasters it was a gray 4-door sedan. So at first they were saying it was a gray sedan, which wasn't right. The victim later died at the scene. His mother was mourning the kind young man any mother would have loved and be proud. She later told the Republic he had a good heart and always asked her for money to help feed homeless people in and around the gritty neighborhood of a tightly packed bungalows. He would give them his shirt and shoes. So they're basically just describing how good the victim was. But as usual, the case quickly faded from the public. Again, it faded from the public because it was a poor area of West Phoenix. So it just was sad that it didn't get much attention. And that's where we're going today. And we're going to be going to his house. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss. Yesterday, I was at the Baseline Killer's house. The Baseline Killer, a few different crime scenes we visited as well. So check out that content on my page. Since 2000, police had investigated 332 cases of Hispanic men in their 20s shot dead by handgun violence. Okay, and there was 126 unsolved murders that year. Many died in Maryvale. Like many cases before, the leads dried up. Winter gave way to spring, and in March 17th, 2016, was one of those days that make people love Arizona. There was a gentle breeze, clear skies, mild temperature, perfect Cactus League weather, and at 10:47 p.m., as a half moon flew high overhead and crept downward toward the white tanks, two Hispanic boys, 16 and 17, were walking back from the park. The roar and hiss of freeway traffic was loud. Just on the other side of a sound wall, traffic on I-10 was heading out of the Deck Park Tunnel in downtown Phoenix. On the side of the sound wall along the 1000 block of East Morin Street, which we're going today, so make sure you subscribe, a menace was approaching. Okay, so this was the vehicle. So it was a black BMW 7 Series vehicle. Okay. The boys stopped near the 12th Street Bridge over the freeway to play with rocks in the front of the house of one boy's grandmother, the Republic reported. A car passed them heading west. This was the Maryvale, I don't know if you guys can see it, street shooter's car. We're going to the house today, so subscribe. I know if you're at work or if you're, at school, there'll be another live video of just pouring. So I'm just going to read the case right now. A car passed them heading west, made a quick U-turn and stopped in front of them. A man in the car fired at the boys, striking the 16-year-old twice in the arm, once in the abdomen, and once in the thigh. His companion was unarmed. Okay. Once again, the driver disappeared into the night. So this was really freaky. It was the Maryvale street shooter, Aaron Saucedo, who still hasn't been tried. He's in prison. Please make sure you subscribe because yesterday we went live at the Baseline Killer's house. Today we're going live at the Maryvale street shooter's house, and we're going to be interviewing friends of the family. Okay, so back to the story. Later, the boys told police they saw a gray four-door Chevy Malibu or maybe a dark brown Nissan Maxima. I remember that and being freaked out. It wasn't even the right description of the car. They said their attacker was an 18 to 20-year-old Hispanic man wearing a black baseball cap and black shirt. Police later found 7 shell casings from a semi-automatic 9mm handgun at the scene. Make sure to subscribe because we're going to be at the place. Can someone press 1 if they can hear me? I'm not sure if everyone can hear me. But the initial reports were almost cliche. Shots fired, no one killed, no suspect or named victims. It got little media attention. Nobody knew the shooter, didn't even know the boys. So when it happened again the next night in another powder town about 15 miles west in Maryvale, nobody saw any connections. This time, a 21-year-old Hispanic man was standing next to his car on the 4300 block of North 73rd Avenue. We're going to be going to that crime scene today. It was 11:24 p.m. when a car rolled up, shot and wounded him, and drove away. Okay, so until now, it was about 2 miles from where Jesse Olivas had died 11 weeks earlier. The latest victim was 1 year younger than Olivas. 2 news accounts later said he was so scared by his brush with random death that he moved away. Okay, a serial killer emerges. Until now, nothing on the radar suggested anything extraordinary was afoot. Nothing beyond the usual mayhem in a big city. Life in Maryvale can be hard, and these findings happen not just there, but in central Phoenix. The back-to-back attacks in March resembled a third 7 months earlier in August 2015, 4 days before Raul Romero had been gunned down in his parking lot, somebody drove up to a house a mile away, and at 10:56 p.m., the driver rolled along the comfortable tree-lined 300 block of East Coulter Street. Please subscribe. We are going to be going to the killer's house today. Aimed a pistol at one of the well-kept bungalows behind a deep front lawn and squeezed the trigger. Nobody was hurt. Police didn't suspect then that any of the random drive-bys were related. So they didn't think anything was related. And that's when we're going to be going live. We have a rain delay, so I apologize. But we're going to be going live, so make sure you subscribe. We're going to the killer's house, the Maryvale street shooter, if you're just joining. Nobody was hurt, and they thought it was all random. They do now. The same man police believe was pulling the trigger and driving that same or similar car in the area. In central Phoenix, 7th Street was the spine of his nocturnal rage. All the shootings were a few blocks off the street, one of the Phoenix main arteries. This was the man that was shot and executed. About 15 miles west, a clearer, more sinister pattern was taking shape on the night of April 1st. The attack came earlier in the evening than previously. At 8:23 p.m., a car rolled up to the 5500 block of West Turney Drive. Diego Verdugo Sanchez, a 21-year-old Hispanic man, was standing there in front of the house of his future in-laws, the Republic later said. Please subscribe to the channel. We are going to the Maryvale street shooter's house today. So there's a little bit of a delay. We're going to be going in 2 hours. So make sure you subscribe so you will see it. The driver in the dark car spied him. He fired a handgun and drove off, leaving behind the neighbor of modest homes, chain link fences, dirt yards, and older cars. Again, there were no witnesses. Again, there was no apparent motive. Again, the ambulance came, took the stricken man to the hospital, and he again died. Police and loved ones tried to make sense of it. Verdugo Sanchez's family described him as a gentle giant who would always put others first. Now, there had been 3 random shootings of young Hispanic men in and around Maryvale, seemed centered around the Grand Canyon University golf course at 59th Avenue and Indian School Road. No one was looking for clues or any patterns yet. Criminologists and FBI profilers often say serial killers evolve. They dabbled, practiced, and then developed a taste for killing. Whatever their motives, they need to satisfy their hunger. They develop a pattern, improve it, and then improvise. Sometimes they change their minds. Please subscribe to the channel. Again, we're going to this person's house. We had a little bit of a monsoon weather out here, so a little rain delay, but we're going to be going to this guy's house, so you don't want to miss it. It's been said that a serial killer is like a chameleon, and that's what this case is so frustrating, one of the U.S. Marshals said. Here's another victim who passed away. This time, police found Crystal Annette White, a black woman, age 55, dead on the side of the street, face down. Her corpse was at 512 North 32nd Place, not far from Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. It was 4:35 a.m. and nearly a full moon was setting when police arrived on that mild, clear night. Please subscribe. Initially, there were no witnesses. Police didn't say until later she had been shot. Acquaintances told the Republic she'd been working the streets as she's done for 30 years. So, this was sad. She was a street worker. I'm just letting everybody know that we're going to be going live to the Maryvale street shooter. We just have a little bit of a rain delay. So she'd gone out of her car at 1 a.m., got in the car. When neighbors reported gunfire, one said they saw a man get in a car and drive off. Police thought the shooting was around 1 a.m. Hours later, the news was drowned out by another serial shooter case. A judge had ordered the bond for suspected freeway shooter Leslie Merritt Jr. to be reduced to nothing. Okay, so this is basically just explaining they're going back and forth about these cases. They had the I-10 killer. They had the Maryvale Street killer. Please subscribe because we're going to be at the house in a few hours. Next one. Horatio de Jesus Pena was standing in front of his house near 67th West Flower Street. The Grand Canyon University golf course in Maryvale was a mile away. The shooter showed up at 9:50 p.m. and he was back to hunting youthful Hispanic men. Shot and killed Horatio. Please subscribe. We're going to be at the Maryvale street shooter's house in about an hour or two. We're going to go live then. I'm just letting everybody know. Sorry to sound repetitive, but we are going to be interviewing a lot of the victims' family members. So you don't want to miss. You want to subscribe. Basically just saying he's been a symbol of health. This young soul was an avid runner, and that day he was showing people with cerebral palsy that a well-balanced diet could be tasty too. He was a nutritionist at an organization that helped people with disabilities. I mean, just terrible. This guy was driving around Phoenix in a BMW shooting people, and he was a bus driver for the city of Phoenix. Now on June 10th, 9:25 p.m., the killer picked out another 19-year-old Hispanic man, Manuel Castro Garcia. Police described Manny Garcia to reporters as a gentle giant, a man full of hugs and smiles. He graduated from nearby Maryvale High School not so long before the tragic death of, they took his life. The chameleon was getting bolder, more compulsive. In March, he attacked twice in a day, but never before had he killed in such a quick succession. He was escalating. On June 12th, just 2 days later at 2:15 a.m., somebody reported finding a shot-up car on the 62nd block of West Mariposa Street. So basically, we're just talking about a lot of men that were passing away. At around 3 a.m., police responded to a shooting just a couple hundred feet around the corner from where Garcia had been slain. So right around the corner of the other one. Subscribe to the channel because we're going to the house of the Maryvale street shooter, Aaron Sauceda. So please, you don't want to miss that. And I know I keep saying this, but we were supposed to be on the road already going to this person's house. So the Maryvale street shooter, we're going to the house, so subscribe. We got a little bit of delayed, so subscribe so you can find my channel again when we go to the Aaron Saucedo's house. Right now, I'm just reading the story because I said we'd be live, so I want to let people know. This time, 2 black women and a girl had been shot in the car in the driveway of the house. This is what broke the case. Of the 6300 block of West Berkeley Road, there were Stephanie Ellis, 33 years old, and her 12-year-old daughter, Malaya. Ellis's best friend, Angela Leonard, 31. Stephanie and Malaya were dead. Subscribe to my channel because we're going to the Maryvale street shooter's house in a few hours. We just got a rain delay, pretty bad up in the mountains, so we're going to be going there, so you don't want to miss out. So I'm just reading the story. Leonard was bleeding from 14 bullet wounds. Paramedics took her to the hospital where she laid in critical condition. Malay wanted to be a cheerleader like her ma. It was a tight family. Both lived with grandparents. Leonard loved music. All 3 were listening to music in their car when they were shot dead. Police said witnesses reported seeing a man leaving the area in a light-colored vehicle. Okay, so we went from a light-colored vehicle to a gray vehicle, but in reality, it was a black BMW. The Maryvale street shooter was shooting innocent people. The majority of them were walking around the sidewalks. They were night workers, and he was even killing homeless people. He's shooting people out of coin laundries. I mean, it was terrible. Subscribe. We're going to be going to his house in a few hours. So make sure you subscribe. Police said witnesses reported seeing a man leaving the area. Fear and frustration grew nowhere more than Maryvale. There, one woman said she was too scared to go out at night after Garcia was killed near her home. She asked not to be named and questioned if police were paying her neighborhood attention. I know they're trying to do their best, but the thing is, just because we're not on the ritzy side of town, it still shouldn't mean they should not be patrolling our side of town. So it's just terrible. They weren't even patrolling her side of town. Okay, this is where it gets good and the investigation picks up. The deadly night of June 12th slammed home the magnitude of Maryvale and the police sworn to protect were now facing. The streets were not safe and it was obvious. 2 days later, the Phoenix Police Department went on the public offensive, putting out a statement asking the public to help them stop the blood shedding. Detectives have noticed an increase in violent crimes in the area of West Phoenix, the department said. That's where we're headed today, so subscribe. Phoenix Police Department is encouraging everyone to be aware of their surroundings and report suspicious activity. This may include unfamiliar vehicles stopped. Officers fanned out through Maryvale and were knocking on doors. They were canvassing on doors. This is the first time the Phoenix Police Department acknowledged they were chasing a serial killer 9 days later on June 21st. That's when they first acknowledged to the public. I mean, it took like 5 or 6 victims to lose their lives, many people to be shot before the Phoenix Police Department actually said, hey, we have a serial killer on our hands. 4 days later, the Silent Witness Association put out a press bulletin offering a $1,000 reward for the capture and murder of Jesse Olivas on New Year's Day and Crystal White, the woman who was slain in April near the airport, right by Sky Harbor. Please subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss. We are going to be going to the Maryvale Street Shooter's house. You'll want to subscribe. We just had a little bit of a monsoon weather here, but we're going to be going there. So I'm just reading the story, but you don't want to miss out. On July 7th, Angela Leonard died after being in a coma. Okay, the reward raised to $16,000. This was the sketch of the suspect that they gave police. Okay, subscribe. We're going to this guy's house. Nobody was linking more than 4 murders at the time to Maryvale shooting in April and June. All had occurred on weeknights, involved the man shooting from a vehicle in front of the home. All were within a 4-mile radius. There were no obvious connections to the non-fatal shootings, nor to the 3 deaths before April, nor to attacks in other parts of town. Seeing if anybody's putting anything, if everybody can hear me. But press 1 if you'd like to see me go to the Maryvale Street Shooter's house, and we're going to be interviewing the parents. On July 11th at 5:26 p.m., police responded to reports of a drive-by shooting on the 3000 block of East Sheridan. It was in the neighborhood of the Creighton Elementary School, and about a mile north of Crystal White shooting. A 22-year-old man and 4-year-old boy were in their car. Neither were hurt. Both were Hispanic. It was the first time this chameleon had struck since the triple murder a month earlier and in the day before. But this time police suspected who was behind it. The hunter was now the hunted. He still didn't have a name, okay? The next day he got a face. Police released their first sketch of the suspect, who had been described as a light-skinned Hispanic man in his 20s. Sometimes witnesses described him as lanky. The reward jumped to $30,000. Can you believe that? It gave him the chameleon name, the serial street shooter. Some had started calling him the Maryvale Monster. That's the house we're going to see today. So basically it was he did fatal shootings, the Maryville Monster, drive-by shootings, non-fatal drive-by shootings. He missed like 4 or 5 people, shooting people in coin laundries, pulling up to family members at events and shooting them. Subscribe to the channel because we're going to the house today. So I'm just getting done reading the article here. The Daily Mail, London-based tabloid, wrote a Phoenix community is turned into a ghost town. I mean, I remember this. People were hiding in their homes. They would not come out. He has said the appearance of the town, the description of him in the car, were coming too close to the mark. So people were searching for this BMW, okay? In a poorer community, a newer BMW, they were on this guy's tail. He had told that he changed his appearance, and he stopped driving the BMW. So moving forward pretty fast, they ended up finding him. And on April 20th, Maryville came together, and they all got together in a village community meeting to try to bust him. The investigation stalled. It stalled for a few months. They raised it to $75,000. The calendar turned bloody again, and then it went from 2016 to 2017. Okay, so you had about a 5-month period where it slowed down. We're going to this guy's house, so please subscribe later today. Experts speculated the killer had been cooling off or was lying low. So let's do finally the big break they needed. Almost suddenly, a flurry of killings a year before. Rumors swirled. Police had a suspect, a person, interest, a name. Last month's Department of Safety turned over to police its case files and a ballistic report from the freeway shooter. Detectives knew they had 2 serial shooters, okay? But they found a camera at the Mo Money pawn shop, and TV stations, obviously pushing all the information everybody found. The 23-year-old laborer in Central Phoenix, he was in jail facing a first-degree murder charge on an unrelated case. That case was the death of Raul Romero back in August of 2015. The accused, Aaron Cicito, the light-skinned Hispanic man who sold the 9mm high-point pistol used to kill Romero 2 weeks later, was broadcasting the person's sketch. Here's a picture of him. This is the house that we're going to see today. Okay, and at this time, there was no evidence linking the two cases, but the public safety said they compared ballistics, and that's what got the match. Raul Romero said in court with the police said in court was killed with a 9mm high point by the son of a woman he was dating, Maria Cecito. Just began the shooting. The son and boyfriend had quarreled. They were at the home of Aaron Sauceda, and that's when they apprehended him. Okay, thank you. We'll be on shortly after this. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be going to the Maryvale Street Shooter's house.